gonna have to do some painting on my snowblower this summer. I'm a bit envious of Luke's. Looks much nicer than mine. I did buy a can of the Kubota orange paint. I had to take out a loan to buy that, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So today we are going to be loading the snowblower onto the tractor. We see some forecast here in the next 4 to 5 days for 15 to 20 centimeters of snow, minus 24 conditions. So we should probably add some anti-gel to the tractor as well and fill up the tank. So we're going to be mounting the snowblower on the front of the BX23S. I leave the attachment bracket on all year round, and the guides, the bridle guides for the hoses. This stays on the tractor all year, and the loader can go on and off with this bracket attached, so no issues there. So let's grab the attachment coupler and put it on here. It's a bit heavy, so be careful. Luke at Orange is My New Green has a great dolly system that he has devised for making it easier to put this thing on and off. It's a bit of a bear, and I should probably do the same thing, but I haven't yet. So anyway, let's grab it and I'll bring it in. So one thing I want to make mention, this is the unit that attaches to the front of the tractor. I flipped it up now so that you guys can see it underneath. There's a grease nipple here, another one here for this bearing. There's grease nipples on this universal joint shaft. This actually comes off. You can remove this if you want, but you don't have to. You can get to the grease nipple in there. There's one on the back side of this universal joint. There's one here, so this shaft can go in and out. And I think that's it. When you try to put this on, you have to hold it on a bit of an angle so the shaft is angled down and will basically punch into the concrete. So what I do is I take a roll of electrical tape and a paint can, a rattle can cap, stick it on there, and I just do a couple of wraps around here and then onto the shaft. And this basically just holds it for a couple minutes so it can move around. We'll just take that off afterwards. Just a quick, simple. You could use bungee cords to here, or there's a number of different things. Basically just so this slides on plastic and not on the actual spindles. Okay, well, let's lift this up into place now. Nothing but sheer strength now. So put this thing back down. Now it's sitting on the cup there, so it's not going to get destroyed. We can loop these things through here now. It's easier to pass them through than to try to wrap them in there, I find. This sits outside in my carport, so I actually have all the fittings all covered with plastic bags and zap straps. Just to keep them somewhat in decent shape is the idea. I just find this a lot easier to do it this way. Leave yourself a little bit of room here for while we're putting them on. This way I won't even get. Oh yeah. I was going to say, I thought I did both this way. And we'll connect those up in a second. We just want to leave a little bit of play here. when we're doing this. And the bar is right here. So this bar has to come out. So you pull that pin. Pull that pin. That bar comes right out of there. Now we just have to lift it in place. So these hooks here go up on top of these things here. The bottom part rests into here. And then this pin slides back through. So let's do that now. There's no easy way to do this other than lift it. Held up on here. A little bit on these things. As it hoses. Or not the hoses, maybe. Oh, a little bit off center here. So once you get the two front pieces lined up, and this this hook on this eye here, it'll sort of rest itself against this piece, which is what you're looking for. And you'll see now that the drive shaft is raised itself up, right? So it's basically hanging where it needs to be now. So this bar goes back through here. And then those two cotter pins that we removed go back in place. So one on that end there. So let's have a look at that. I'll show you. So that is the pin right there that we slid through all these loops. Put a cotter pin here and a cotter pin here, so that can't slide back out again now. So I've got the drive shaft now. Of course, it was stored underneath the carport, so I've got zip ties and bags on it. So I'm just going to cut these off. This was all greased up before I put it away, so she should be ready to go. And so the front, this is going to slide onto the K connect, let's call it, which is this coupler that goes to the snowblower. It slides quite a ways forward, allowing you to get this up to do a snap connect onto the mid-mount PTO. So we're going to go underneath the tractor and I'll show you how that's done now. Okay, so now the camera's pointed towards the front of the tractor right now. So what we're going to do is, if I'm underneath here, we're going to remove this is my makeshift axle protector. Or, yeah, I guess it's a spline axle, isn't it? Make sure we don't leave any tape on there. There's quite a bit of grease inside this fitting, so when we slide that on, it'll add more grease to it. So, like I said, we're going to put the drive shaft on and slide it all the way up to the front here. And you'll see what that allows us to do in a second. So this goes on here and slides quite a ways up. And then I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the back. So I'm going to assume there's lots of subscribers that can tell me what's wrong here. I left the skid plate on. The mid-mount PTO is right behind the skid plate. So we're going to have to remove this. And this was from Tractor Attachments. not a sponsored video, but the thing works very well. So basically you just pull these levers here. There's one lever. Do the same on the other side. The plate drops down, slides out the back. So there we go. Now we can see the PTO. Anyway, let's get this cleaned up, and we'll wipe that down. Put a bit more grease. This must be all dirty from bush hogging. Clean all these little grooves out. This is going to get pushed back when you slide it on, right? So you want to make sure you have lots on the front here. Okay. Now we hooked the axle on the front already. We pushed it all the way forward. So we're going to grab the back of the axle now. And you'll see this will come up like this. And you have to push this in, this little collar. Watch your fingers, because it's going to hurt if you catch them on something here. You hear that click? You try to move the axle back and forth. If it doesn't, it is connected. So now we've got the drive shaft connected. We're going to come over here. We're going to take off the, I believe it's white and yellow. Make sure these are clean, which they look like they are. And then these are the connectors for the snowblower. This is the yellow one. It snaps on here. And the white one. So this tractor hasn't been run since we rototilled the garden, so at the end of the year, so we're going to give it a good 10-second glow plug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, didn't like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's two different types, I guess, hydraulic and we'll call it El Manuel. So this basically, the rod just goes through this little guide here and slides into here, and I like it quite a bit forward, and then you drop a pin in here, and that's it. That gives you the chute movement. Just a worm gear. Pretty basic, but it works. So when you engage the this bar, I like to move this shaft a bit so that you can make sure that they're, see, that's not fully engaged. So if you lean back on this a little bit and you rotate the auger there, so you'll feel it drop into the cogs properly, and now that's engaged. Yeah, so you can get it where it's setting on the head of the piece where they haven't mated yet, and if you just loosen off the tension a bit, rotate the auger, you'll see it snap on, and now you know it's engaged properly. Okay, so let's fire it up and just let it run for a little bit. Make sure everything's good. I should be able to see that in my camera screen. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So that is installing the BX2316 snowblower on a Kubota BX23S tractor. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like these videos, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, maybe share it with a family member or friend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.